Hey y'all, this is Joe from St. Bernard Acres. Welcome to my studio. I'm looking for a light to put behind me. Somebody said I need a light behind me, so I'm looking for something. I wanted to talk about something I've noticed on YouTube lately, some of the channels I follow. And I have to mention something here. I'm closing in on 12,000 subscribers. And I think one of the reasons why I have this many subscribers, and I have so many views per day, I have a lot of views per day, fortunately, for only, 12,000 subscribers. But I have my channel, as you well know, is a variety, a mismatch of everything. So I talk about all kinds of different subjects and cover different, I'm not, I don't do just one thing. So I do some things on my channel that interest some people, not others, and vice versa. I try to talk to everybody. I talk about everything and try to make it somewhat entertaining, if not knowledgeable, for everybody, if I can, or funny for everybody, if I can. So, I talk about various subjects, and if this doesn't particularly interest you, then you can turn it off. I mean, it's not, my whole channel is not being dedicated to just this. It's not being dedicated to just keep building the cabin. It's not dedicated to just trying to build a homestead out there. I cover all kinds of stuff. And a lot of it's just my random thoughts. And I was wondering, there's this whole thing about, I'm going to talk about prepping right now, and preppers, and this whole thing about groups and forming groups. Do you want to be part of a group? My group involves my family and some neighbors that share, like-minded neighbors. That's it. We're not a group. This is not a compound. St. Bernard Acres is not a compound. There's not going to be a big gathering there of people. We'll just take care of ourselves. I don't want to be part of a group. And I know one channel was advertising and talking about, email me, so we can talk, and you can send your supplies here, I'll store them for you, and when S.H.T.F happens, you can come here, and everything will be here, and as many people as want to come can come. They only have a couple, 3 acres, so I don't know where you're going to have a whole lot of people. My concerns about joining a group like that, and there's more and more websites popping up and trying to organize groups and being a gateway to groups, if you will, in your area. That's all and good, but I don't see how you can vet a person to determine their reaction in a real, actual SHTF event. It's like, how do you... Dog hair. I was down there playing with my dogs. How do you vet that? How do you know you're inviting these people into a group and you're going to join a group of people that you really don't know? And they say, there's safety in numbers and blah, blah, blah. While there is truth to that, there's also danger in numbers, especially numbers that you don't know. I have a couple of really, really long-time close friends that can come to St. Bernard Acres if they need to. It's not we don't have this giant plan depending on what happens, There's an open invitation to them. I don't feel like I could coordinate a group thing. And I'm not going to send money to a compound or my supplies to a compound where my membership depends on my productivity as a member of the group. If you know, if somebody doesn't think I'm doing my part or working up to my share, then you're going to kick me out. And what happens to everything I've sent to you? You know, there's just, I fear that there's a danger in, you know, like that. I don't know. I just don't understand this. I think the people who want to do the groups, who think that they want to be part of a group or they're trying to invite people into their group, it's almost like they've watched too much Walking Dead. You know, and I'm not planning for that kind of scenario. I don't see that coming. And I'm wondering how you guys feel, how preppers feel about it. You know, how all of you homesteaders feel. Do you want people, would you open up your homestead to a group of preppers that you met on the internet? You know, because they're like-minded or they have a certain skill set to offer. I just don't see it. I'm not going to do something like that. My group is my family. And I can only pray that they can make it to us in case something happens, or I can make it to them, whoever happens to be out there. You know, and I see all these preppers and survivalists and all this. And I'm going to tell you, there's 3 kinds of preppers that I see on the internet that I really want to try to avoid. You have your narrow-minded preppers in that they're prepping for one thing. They're prepping for an EMP is going to happen. Or they're prepping that Yellowstone is going to blow its top, and, you know, we're going to have an eruption, a supervolcano. Or they're prepping for a societal collapse, you know, economic collapse. You know, and they're concentrating so much on just that one thing that they lose sight of, you know, just being generally prepared for things. And if their sole intention in prepping is for just an EMP, then they're not going to last in any other kind of scenario if some other kind of scenario happens. I just don't want to be a part of a, you know, follow a prepper like that. The other ones, you know, another kind that I don't particularly care for are, you know, and this goes back to groups, you know, they're commander types. They know everything. And you're going to do what I tell you. You know, and I agree there should be leaders. But leaders teach. You know, they motivate. They don't command, if you will. You know, they lead, they teach, they pass on their expertise, they delegate things. That's what leaders do. You know, most of us are not military trained to follow a command, you know. And I think a lot of these preppers are so full of themselves, and they think there's some kind of authority or some kind of expert on this whole prepping thing. So they're going to tell you what to do and tell you how to do things. I never cared for people like that. So that's not one of the prepper kinds that I want to follow. Thirdly, You know, I don't care much for the bragger prepper, if you will. The one who has to, you know, in every video they're talking about what they have and what they've got, how they're going to be able to do this, and look what I bought today, and you know, if you don't go out and buy this stuff, then you're not going to be able to make it. I have things. I have things, you know, that I've been prepping for, you know, as far as supplies and gear that I feel I'm going to need if something does happen. I don't, you know, I'm not planning on any particular thing happening. I don't, you know, personally, I hope nothing happens. I'm retiring. I'm planning on my retirement years. So I'm going to need certain things for me to retire. You know, and if there is an economic collapse and let's say the money's gone and Social Security's gone, I'm not getting anything, at least I'll be able to eat and I'll be able to live and I'll be able to sustain myself until, you know, my first harvest. That's what I've always said, you know, plan. Have enough supplies to last me until I can start harvesting on my own. That's the kind of prepping I do and supplies that I have. That's all I need. I like doing all this other stuff. You know, I'm going to be doing camp outs and bushcraft things, and I'll be cooking up some of this food. You know, I find deals on this, and you know, I'll be using it. You know, not just putting it in, you know, containers and setting it aside, you know, in case something happens. I'm going to use it. You know, and I'll buy more. But, yeah, I don't understand the whole need to be part of a group or desire to be part of a group or wanting to have a group at St. Bernard Acres and me try to be in charge of a group. I just don't see a lot of good outcome in that. Now, if the, you know, the end of the world as we know it, and we're all, you know, the worst case scenario happens, and you know, 95% of the population of the world is wiped out, and we've got to try to rebuild and start society over again, then I can see groups of people coming together. But, you know, I don't understand why you would want to join a group of people off the internet and people that you don't even know. I would like to hear if you guys are interested in joining groups or you're looking to join groups. If you would, share with me your thought process in that. Perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps that's the way it should be, and I should be looking at it that way. I don't know. But I'm not one who's going to run out and join a group. The only group I'm concerned with are my family. That's my group. I have neighbors who I hope I can depend on. I'm not planning on depending on them. But hopefully, you know, they're dependable when something happens. You know, they're prepped. They're taking care of themselves. I don't want a group of people who are not taking care of themselves, who aren't prepping for something. You know, I don't want to open myself up to that. And I wonder if that's what's happening with these people who are wanting to join groups. They don't have the intestinal fortitude to prep for themselves, and maybe they're thinking if they can get into a group, they won't have to. I don't know. It's not it's not a thing for me. I'm looking for a little dialogue on this. If you guys would help me out, let me know why you think, you know, this is a good idea or not a good idea. See if you agree with me. I'll take care of myself and I'll take care of my family. I don't need any help doing that. And I don't want to be burdened with having to help other people or be responsible for other people. If I opened up my compound to other people and invited people there, then I would feel a responsibility to them, which may tax too heavily on my responsibility to my family. And I don't want to put myself or somebody else in a position like that. And I don't know how you can invite people in and assure yourself that that wouldn't come up, that that wouldn't become an issue. Like I said, just some thoughts, you know, just some, I just have thought about that and wondered about that, and I can't really, I know there's two sides to it. I know there's positives and there's negatives about it. I just like to hear some ideas on it. If y'all want to give me some ideas on it, let me know. Would you join a group? You know, would you join a group prior to SHTF happening, or would you join a group after something happened and people tried to recruit you? Would you be willing to go and take your supplies with you to their group? I'm just curious, you know, let's, you know, I don't see this happening. I don't know how, you know, that could even be a question that you can answer, because you don't know how you're going to react. You don't know how people are going to react to a particular event. That's why I think it's kind of almost entertaining, if you will, to talk about it and have some dialogue on it, and spread some ideas, and, you know, just talk about it, have something to talk about. But that's it. That's all I want to do, share some thoughts with you on that. Share my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you are going to do a group thing. This is Friday, April 26th, I believe. I've been on vacation all week. Got a lot done around here. You know, I got rid of the chickens Monday. It sucks. We miss our chickens. But it was necessary. I got a guy coming in with a excavator who's going to level out all of the yard now, fill in the pit, you know, get this all smoothed out so I can start growing grass and getting, I think it's going to be a lot easier to sell if I have a yard. I've got, with buying that lot next to me and tearing that house down, I got one of the biggest lots in Wheeling, you know, in the area. So it ought to, you know, help sell it if it's actually a usable lot. But the chickens are happy where they are. They're out in the country. The people that took them love them. She put a thing on her Facebook that, you know, they kept their names, and you know, they introduced them to their friends, and said, you know, they, in addition to their place, Gladys Gertie Biscuits and Dumplings of YouTube fame. So they, you know, they took the coop and redid it. I'll throw a couple pictures up here real quick. It looked like the Beverly Hillbillies rolling out here with the coop all torn apart, and, you know, the chickens in a cage in the back of a pickup truck heading down the road. We thought that was kind of funny, but they're doing good. But that's it. We're going. Gail and I, we got rained out yesterday, rained out today. Tomorrow's Saturday. We're going to try to head out there, finish up the insulation in the cabin. We're not going to be able to mow. We've been wanting to get out there and mow. But with dealing with everything here, and my wife went to Cincinnati Monday. She has a friend who's got some medical issues. Want to go out and spend a little time with her. So we didn't get, you know, to do much except some work around here. It's rained so much we're not going to be able to mow this weekend, but we might be able to get the rest of the insulation put in. And we'll try to shoot some video for you. But this is Joe. I've taken up enough of your time. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you liked it. Remember, subscribe to my channel. click on that red bell to give you because you never know what I'm liable to put up. You never know what kind of video I'm going to be adding, because it's different every time. So let me know what you think. I'd appreciate that if we can get a dialogue going about groups and whether you should be in a group, and what do you think about 3 types of preppers that we would try to avoid. And this I've been working on, so don't worry about me having a gun on my desk again. This is a really nice, my very first 1911. I love it. Can't wait to take it out and fire it. But I've been cleaning it, getting it, the shipping oil and everything off of it. Hopefully take it out this weekend and try it out. But this is Joe from St. Bernard Acres. I'm out.